Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day. For those of y'all who are in the America part of the world, hopefully you guys are enjoying your lunch break. I'm here for a quick show, but I got something that's very interesting. Some devastating news that just came out of France, out of Paris. This crazy situation that just kind of caught my eye, and I felt like, you know what, this is an opportunity to talk about this and see what the heck is going on. Maybe you guys can give me some information. For those of y'all who are across the pond, maybe you guys know some stuff that I don't know about yet, because this story is still developing. It's still strange. It's crazy. Of course, they have some people. They do have some suspects that have been detained. But still, this story is very wild to me, and I figured, you know what, let me hop on this really quick as we still are kind of waiting to hear maybe some more developing information about Quentin Simon. And, of course, let's not forget Timothy Haslett out in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri as well. We're still waiting to hear more information about that. So I was like, you know what, let me jump on here really quick, talk with you guys about a different story, something new. And of course, I do have something else that I wanted to share with you guys in a later show that has nothing to do with true crime, but I do feel like it's a story that we do need to talk about and kind of react to. So I do have plans on doing something a little bit later on this afternoon with you guys as well. So just so that you guys know what my plans are for today. There may be a pop-up video a little bit later on today, but there will be a live. And again, it's not true crime-ish, but like I said, due to the month and given the fact that it is DV Awareness Month, I do want to bring some conversations to light that we really do need to have. So just giving you guys that heads up, because I know some of y'all might be like, hey, this story has nothing to do with what you've been covering lately, Pascal. What I will be covering later on today. But I think it's a necessary conversation nonetheless. Anyway, let's get back into this. We do have a crazy story coming out of Paris. 12-year-old girl was found inside of a suitcase. And it's just crazy. So we are going to get into this and have a conversation about this. So before we get into everything, please do me a favor, which it's going to be a quick show. It's going to be a quick show. But I've noticed that this is not a conversation that a lot of people are having right now. It's out here, but people aren't talking about it. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Send it past 200 likes. I see a bunch of y'all starting to file in and check this thing out. All right, we need to find out what the heck happened here. So please hit that like button down below. Spread the word, because I feel like no one's really talking about this on the internet. No one's talking about it. But nonetheless, it is still a devastating story, which hopefully we can help get the family quicker to justice by talking about it, okay? Even I am talking about this. Good old regular dude from Middle Earth America, okay? Talking about this, all right? So it is important nonetheless, all right? Protect your children. Period. Let's protect these children. Please do me a favor. If you haven't done that yet and you're checking out this show for the very, very first time, hit that subscribe button, crush it, make a scream out your name. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. We got to get into some things, so let's jump into this, shall we? All right. Well, before I start going into all the comments and the members and all that stuff as well, I will be giving you guys the shout outs and the love that you rightfully deserve. Okay, but there is a terrible, disturbing story that's coming straight out of Paris, France right now. There is a young girl by the name of Lola Daviet, and hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. All right. She is 12 years old, and she was found tied up in a suitcase in an apartment complex with some very disturbing things found on her body. We are going to get into that here in just a minute, but I just have to say, first and foremost, I said it just a second ago, I'm going to say it again. Please protect your children. Have conversations with your children about strangers. I know that whole stranger danger thing, has become a kind of a funny thing, but at the same time, please have those conversations with your children. I know nowadays kids are having cell phones and all that. I mean, shoot, I just saw a 2-year-old with a cell phone. Real talk. Just a few weeks ago. I mean, it exists. I do think is it, now more than ever, more important to make sure that your children have something that can protect them from terrible things like this, because we have faces of evil everywhere. These people do exist. These darkness does lurk, not only in the shadows, they literally lurk in broad daylight. And it is just absolutely disturbing to hear this story. Okay. Real talk. As much as I'm not a fan of giving kids cell phones and whatnot, I now more than ever, I'm now sitting here saying, yeah, get them whatever you need to make sure that they have at least a way to contact you if anything bad happens to your child. Now, let me say this too. I'm not saying anything about Lola's parents. This is not a dig at them at all. I wish them peace. I wish them nothing but grace. And of course, I wish them nothing but my condolences during this terrible time. But I also do feel that I just wish that there was a better way of protecting our children, because we do have a lot of kids out here that are just they don't have the protection I feel that they rightfully deserve, and it's very disturbing. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this because not only is it a brand new story that just broke overnight, but it is also something that I feel that we should all learn from. This is a cautionary tale for all you parents out there that do have kids that are either walking home from school. You're giving them certain, let's just say, certain liberties to get out there and have some sense of freedom. This is the time, maybe if you haven't had this conversation yet with them, maybe this is the time to start having that conversation with your children. Not the birds and the bees conversation, okay? And we ain't talking about, say no to drugs. I'm talking about protection and knowing not to trust people, okay? Now, again, we don't know the story here, but I'm just saying within this story, I just say start talking. Have conversations with your children, okay? So let's get into this. And this is very disturbing. The details and the information that we've found out so far has been extremely disturbing. Obviously, this is something that's going to be developing and growing as time goes on. But I did want to have a conversation with my family about this, because maybe one of y'all will have a conversation with your kids, or one of y'all will be, find a new way to protect your children. I don't know. But I do feel like this is a conversation nonetheless. Given the fact also, let's just say this too, we are walking into Halloween time as well. We're going to be letting our kids run amok, going, ding, ringing that doorbell, ding dong, trick or treat on everybody's doorsteps. And God forbid you're ringing the doorbell on the wrong door. Just saying, this is now the conversation that needs to be had more than ever, in my personal opinion. Okay. But let's get into this, shall we? Sorry for that long monologue, but I feel something about this story. This one was really speaking to me a lot, and I was debating if I was going to do this story or not. But something told me to do it anyway. So, 12-year-old girl unalive, stuffed inside suitcase in Paris. Okay, and of course, this is a security cam still from a security cam footage showing allegedly the monster that did this to this young girl. And the information that we do have is absolutely graphic. It's disturbing. Full on trigger warning, just so you guys know. So, a homeless woman is accused of unaliving a 12-year-old whose throat was reportedly, can't say that word, before her body was stuffed into a suitcase in Paris. The Daily Mail reports, which we are going to be looking at the Daily Mail as well, but they report that 24-year-old Daviet B, was indicted for the gruesome unaliving of Lola Daviet on Friday. The girl had the numbers 1 and 0 imprinted on her chest when her remains were found. The family got worried after Lola didn't come home from school, which is right around the corner. And that's crazy. Like this is the reason why I say how important it is that we have our conversations with our children. Because yes, sure, we want kids to have that certain sense of freedom. They start getting older, and you start thinking in your mind, school's just it's right around the corner. Who cares? It's just right around the corner. But still, evil lurks everywhere. Okay? And I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to point out the real harsh truths of what we deal with what we deal with everywhere. This is even in grand old Paris, okay? So, the girl's father, who's a maintenance worker in their building, decided to check the security cam footage and noticed their daughter entering the building with a stranger. On Facebook, her mother, Delphine Daviet, wrote that Lola was, quote unquote, last seen in the company of a girl we don't know. A homeless man found her on her remains in the suitcase hours later. So this story, I mean, it wrapped up pretty quickly. Okay. A law enforcement source said evidence suggests that the girl was taken into the basement and then she was tortured, and I can't even say those words, but you see what happened to her. I'll just highlight it. Those things, and then that, if you get what I'm saying. There was no motive known for the unaliving. And of course, this is the post from Delphine Daviet, which is Lola's mother. Screenshots, as you can see. All right. Now there's more. This same homeless woman, this same woman that allegedly took the life of this young girl, 12-year-old Lola Daviet, was apparently boasting about selling parts. Okay? Is now being charged for RT and unaliving, because I can't say those words, unfortunately, and unaliving this 12-year-old girl after she was found stuffed in a suitcase in Paris with the numbers 1 and 0 on her body. Okay? A homeless woman who boasted about selling parts has been charged with of course, we already said all this, okay? Before, and this, of course, was all these things happened to her before her body was stuffed in this suitcase in Paris. Daviet B, a 24-year-old homeless woman originally from Algeria with extreme psychological problems, was indicted today over the gruesome unaliving of Lola Daviet on Friday as she appeared before examining magistrates. The schoolgirl was found tied up inside a plastic suitcase near her home with the numbers 1 and 0 imprinted on her chest. Imprinted on her chest. Still, I'm wondering what they meant. What do they mean by imprinting on her chest? I'm just going to say that again. What does that mean exactly? I'm going to let you guys let that idea run wild in your own mind. Okay. And then, of course, outside of that, real quick, what does that mean? What does the number mean? 1 and 0. Number 10. Is this the 10th person that she's claimed? Is this the 10th person? You see what I'm saying? Is there a history here that we maybe don't know? Are there other unalived individuals throughout either Paris or throughout the country of France, or maybe her old stomping grounds in Algeria that have not been accounted for, that she has claimed? Could number 9 be from a couple weeks ago? Like I said, inquiring minds would like to know. All right. So that was imprinted on her chest. So obviously, it was either used with a knife or it was singed or something like a branded type thing. You see what I'm saying? God knows. But this is a homeless woman. So it does make you wonder, what was she able to do in the situation she was in? It's just, like I said, I don't want my mind to go there, but this is very disturbing, y'all. So this was imprinted on her chest, and then left in the inner city courtyard of a building in the French capital's northeast. So she discarded the suitcase. CCTV footage had emerged showing both the alleged unaliver, or the alleged monster, and her victim next to the block of flats where Lola lived with her middle-class parents who owned properties across northern France. Now, this little girl's remains was later found near the building, in the city's 19th arrondissement. Okay, I've never seen that word in my life, where she lived with her parents, Delphine and Johan. So, the suspect had boasted about selling parts, said the investigating source. Evidence suggests that the girl was taken into the basement of the flat. Okay, that's very interesting. So she was found in the base. She was taken to the basement of the flat where she was obviously all these things and having her throat. You know what I'm saying? The source added, the suspect is believed to suffer with serious psychological problems. She was living on the street, but had friends and family in the Paris area. A judicial source confirmed Daviet was in custody, charged with the unaliving of a child under the age of 15, the R, and torture. There's her face again. And of course, this is the footage that they show of Daviet walking into the building. Now, here's this other footage, which it says down here. Lola is pictured in the CCTV footage, still wearing a white coat and carrying what appears to be her school bag. So she walks in with this woman, with this homeless woman. And I'm wondering, what was the dialogue? That's the one thing I'm still trying to figure out. What was the dialogue between Lola and this Daviet person, this monster? What was the dialogue there? Because it doesn't seem like she's being held against her will, but she could be. Or did this girl con her into walking into this building? It's just strange. It's just very, very strange. Like I said, I have so many questions revolving around this. On Friday night, after the remains were discovered, 3 people were arrested near the scene. Thank God. Then a woman who was spotted on CCTV with the schoolgirl hours before her demise was also held. 2 others were also arrested, and all are originally from Algeria. Of the 6 initially arrested, which included Dabia's older sister, Freya, 4 are now considered innocent of any wrongdoing. So those people got let go. One 43-year-old man still faces charges over allegedly making a car available to the suspect over the weekend. Now, this part is interesting. This part right here where it says that this 40-year-old man who gave Dabia, this monster, a car, is now being charged as well. But it does make you wonder, did he know that she was going to go out and commit crimes? Or was he just a nice person that just lent her a car? Just something to think about. Or he could just be just as bad as her. Now, it is thought that the alleged unaliver attacked alone. Wow. Attacked alone and gratuitously in allegedly carrying out the unaliving, according to judicial sources. Witnesses say they saw her dragging the suitcase, which was stained in red and smelt strongly of bleach. And you know for a fact what bleach smells like. I mean, shoot, that can whew, your instantly your eyes start burning. Okay. So, an investigating source said the alleged monster somehow earned the victim's confidence. There it is, and led her into the cellar below the building where the attack happened. The attacker had been talking about selling parts, organs, and other parts, okay? But none of this makes sense. She acted alone and gratuitously and defiled her victim before unaliving her. Now, let me just say this, yo. I mean, I don't mean to pause in the middle of this, but you know this is how I do. This is very, very bad. Now, I don't know what it is because it says right here, this monster somehow earned her victim's confidence and then led her into the basement below the building where everything went down, where all these heinous, disturbing, unthinkable things happened to this 12-year-old girl. Now, I have to say this. This is why this is so important. This is why I'm bringing up this conversation. Listen, we've been covering this situation with Quentin Simon. We've been covering the stories of all these people that are just, like a victim, a survivor, found refuge by fighting tooth and nail, getting out of this other monster's house in Kansas City, Missouri. We talk about these stories countless times of people of children or people who are very trusting of the outside environment. And I have to say this. There needs to be more awareness that this kind of stuff can and possibly will happen if our children or our loved ones don't keep their heads on a swivel. Now, I'm not sitting here saying I'm not trying to blame anybody. Let me just say that really quick. Time out. The only people I blame are the monsters themselves, because evil is terrible. And when they see a moment, when they see a moment to strike, they will strike. It doesn't matter if you keep your head on the swivel or not. But if there's things that you can implement into the conversation, implement into understanding, maybe some of these things could be stopped or slowed down at least. And something like this where I don't know the relationship that this young girl had, if she had a relationship with this monster, because that could very well be it too. She could have just seen her on the block walking around, seen her a bunch of times, and maybe she built her trust within Lola. That could have been it too. Or she just straight up conned this 12-year-old girl into something. Regardless, it is the thing of, hey, there needs to be some sort of there just needs to be some sort of conversation within parent and child, parents and children, to let them know, hey, I know stranger danger. I know that sounds really, like I said before, I know that's a really comical thing nowadays, but I'm being dead serious right here. Because young kids and even adults, okay, people can be very trusting over anything if they just use the right words, if they use the right key words. They can lure you into doing something or lure you into a place that you never thought you'd be going into. And kids are the most vulnerable, most manipulative, unless you start having those serious and sometimes very uncomfortable conversations. Sometimes you need to have those uncomfortable conversations so you can save your daughter or your son's life, period. Even if it's like, I know, mom, gosh, oh, no. You sit down and you're going to hear me out. Because this conversation could save your life. Now, this soul here, it's just, like I said, I'm sure a beautiful, wonderful, caring individual, good kid, I'm sure, that just trusted the wrong person. But then again, conversations need to be had. And this situation here screams at me like we need to have our conversation with our kids. And I know some of us don't like having these conversations, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. Okay? Let me read a little bit more of this article, and then I'm going to read some of you guys' chats and all that, okay? So she was apparently, this homeless woman, this monster, was talking about selling parts, okay? Lola's parents are professional caretakers of a number of buildings in northern Paris, including the one where they live. They also own 2 houses in the village of, I don't know how to pronounce that, but they obviously own a lot of properties and maybe have a lot of success from doing so. Lola was a pupil at a particular school that was only yards from her home. The victim was discovered with her feet and wrists bound, tape around her face, and several cuts to her throat just hours after she was reported missing by her parents when she failed to return after class. She had numbers placed on her body by a device. And so now they're saying it was imprinted on her body by a specific device rather than cut into her skin, according to the police source. A post-mortem examination on Saturday concluded that she had died of asphyxiation following a physical attack that included a knife being used to cut her body. Chilling security cam footage has emerged, which showed the girl dressed in a white outfit and carrying what appears to be a school bag, walking into the building behind a woman who witnesses claim was later seen carrying the suitcase. One resident said he saw the suspect dragging the suitcase around 2 hours prior to Lola's disappearance. We saw her go into the building, and she was dragging the suitcase with her. She did not seem right in the mind. Others saw the suspect drinking a coffee and eating a croissant as she appeared to try and work out what to do next. Interesting. Police, she went and had a croissant. Okay? She went and had a croissant after she did this. She went and had a coffee. Okay? a cafe, and a croissant. Or, Americans, croissant. That's ridiculous, y'all. Police told French media they had uncovered signs of kidnapping in the basement of the building and launched a unaliving inquiry. So apparently, her body was discovered on Friday evening by a homeless man who saw an abandoned suitcase on the street. So her body was found somewhere around on this street in a suitcase in the street. Man, people are just evil. Have mercy. Of course, this is a bouquet that says rest in peace in French. Girl's face was covered in tape. Her feet and fists were bound, and she had suffered several cuts to her neck or throat. I don't know if I'm trying to say it in many ways without actually getting, hit with anything. But anyway, code words, guys. Sorry. The victim's mother went to the police at 5 p.m. on Friday evening when she became worried that her daughter had not returned home and posted a desperate appeal for help on social media. Mrs. Daviet posted an image of Lola accompanied by the following message. Our daughter Lola was last seen at 3:20 p.m. in the company of a woman we do not know in our residence. The footage from the entrance of the building only captured Lola following her suspect monster into her block. Less than 6 hours later, a homeless man, contacted the police after he allegedly stumbled upon the suitcase and discovered the body inside at around 11:30 p.m. on this particular road. Where was I? Yes, on this road, and they say a stone's throw away from the victim's home. The public prosecutor confirmed to BFM TV that signs of a struggle had been discovered in one of the basement rooms in Lola's building. And of course, police or Parisian officials indicated that staff and students of her school, as well as neighboring schools in the area, would receive psychological support. What's crazy to me still is that after this woman did what she did, this monster did what she did, locals say woman left suitcase with unalive teenager to go inside to go and buy a coffee and a croissant. So, local resident says woman left suitcase with unalive teenager inside to go buy a croissant. 12-year-old disappeared on Friday afternoon. Her body was found hours later, mutilated and stuffed in a suitcase. This is the wild and crazy world that we live in, y'all. Again, this person did what they did and then still found time. Suddenly said, I'm hungry. I need a snack. Let me go get some coffee and a croissant while I figure out what I'm going to do next with her remains real quick. That is just disgusting, disturbing, unthinkable. It's weird. It's crazy that we have people in this world that actually, there's evil. I don't mean to sound like, I ain't trying to sound like some preacher, okay? I'm really not. Not trying to sound like some of these televangelists out here, mopping my brow, there's evil. I'm not trying to do that. But what's crazy to me is that there are people out here that they entertain their minds with this type of stuff. Everything from the situation that's going on in Savannah, Georgia, with Quentin Simon, the situation in Kansas City with Timothy Haslett, that piece of trash monster as well. Which, by the way, media ain't really talking about that much, which is very interesting indeed. But then now you got this in Paris. In as much as we hear all the terrible stories of young men or young people missing, we always hear about it. We always hear about it in America. But what's wild to me is that we have that same type of unthinkable monstrosities happening overseas too, happening in Europe, happening in every corner of the world. It's heartbreaking. And we still don't really know exactly. I mean, we do know from the physical evidence they're obviously going to be doing more research into what happened to her and all that as well. But at the same time, we still don't know why this happened. Why did she walk into this room or walk into the building? Why did she walk into the building with this homeless woman? Why did she walk into why was she trusting of this woman? What was it? And I said it earlier. I'm not sitting here saying that this young girl is gullible. I'm not saying that at all. There could have literally been a relationship that was built over time, every single time that she walked to or from back to school. This monster could have been like, "Hi, Lola," every day, just striking up a conversation, slowly but surely planting the seed of trust into this young girl's mind. Till finally she said, "It's time." And she strikes. "Hey, come down. Yeah, come on and check out this spot with me." "Yeah, you've never seen the basement of your own building? It's very cool. Come with me." Maybe that's what happened. Or this young girl was easily manipulated into going downstairs on her own free will off of the first meeting. That could be it too. But regardless, these are the conversations that we need to start having with our children. Doesn't matter if it's stranger danger right off the bat, if it's somebody that she's never met before and somehow she finds herself in the basement of her own building with somebody she doesn't even know, or it's still somebody who's still strange to them, okay? Being manipulated into going into that basement as well. Regardless, the conversation needs to be had with our children. Period. We can't just sit there and go, "Oh, just bye, have fun, kiddo." And who's to say? I'm not saying that this young girl did not have this conversation with her parents. Like I said before, this is not me trying to knock the parents at all. I guarantee you they were I'm sure they trusted her. I'm sure they had this conversation with this young girl. But I also say, please, to everyone else, this is incredibly crucial to every single last one of y'all, even the ones who are ear hustling, even the ones y'all in the nosebleed seats, okay? It is incredible that you guys have kids. It is incredibly crucial that you start to have these conversations with your kids. Okay, not only just about drugs, not only just about the birds and the bees. Okay, and it's not a stork that drops off babies, where babies come from. All that is important, but this conversation is incredibly important as well, because we are having grown women getting snatched off the street. We're having little kids getting snatched off the street every single day. This conversation needs to be had, and in fact, if you've ever had the moment of hesitation about getting your kid a cell phone, maybe it's time to start getting one for your kids. Just a thought. Because if you're going to let them go out, walk back and forth without you picking them up from school, so on and so forth, maybe that phone will help them from getting away from bad things, being able to call you if something bad happens. That's crucial, y'all. That's incredibly crucial. Again, this is so sad, incredibly sad. And we don't know what the relationship was like. If this was their first meeting or their 100th meeting, we do not know. But I do know that we need to take this story, take it as a teachable moment, and start having our conversations with our kids and making them realize, yes, there's a lot of good in this world, but there are some bad. And there are people out here that are wanting to do bad things to you because of how young you are. We need to start having these conversations with our kids. And I really do hope you guys do as such. I really do. So I'm going to get some of these super chats really, really quick, because I saw some of you guys putting in some thoughts and opinions in the very beginning. First off, I think it was Pink Society. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I had some members' comments in here too that I just wanted to get in here really, really quick. Yes, I do have a couple. Hold on. So, Dovey, thank you so much for being a member for the past 4 months. I really do appreciate it. She says, it's been 4 months for me. Love this family. Love all this amazing content, Pascal. Thanks, Pascal and mods, for working so hard for us. Yeah, shout out to the mods. Without y'all, I don't even know what to do. So thank you guys for all your support and just being so dope. Okay. It's appreciated. And thank you, Dovey, for being a member for the past 4 months. I really do appreciate it. Pink Society, I guess you just renewed your membership, I guess. Best 2-month membership I was ever gifted. Oh, thank you so much. Love this community and support. We all give and love this community and the support we all give Pascal. Looking forward to new milestones for the Pascal show. Thank you so much, Pink Society. First off, thank you. Okay. And I know that without certain people like Nicole and Albus for gifting you guys so many wonderful gifts of memberships, I know that you guys maybe, wouldn't have known anything about the membership side of things and all that. And I really do appreciate you guys being a part of the family. And, of course, I have to give credit where credit is due, so shout out to Albus and Nicole for inviting new people into the memberships and all that. Like I said, without that, there would be no memberships, really, so I really do appreciate it. Jacqueline, hold up, let me get that here. Jacqueline Whitting, thank you so much for the $1.50. I really do appreciate that super sticker. Nikki, thank you so much for the $20 super chat or super sticker. I really, really do appreciate it as well. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, without this, I really do appreciate it. Really, 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 I do. Okay. Hold on. Ooh, okay. Did not mean to do that. Well, hold on. My dogs are losing their doggone minds. Yeah, no, I was I made a mistake. I need to somehow block that crap again. Hold on. There we go. Done. All right. Thank you. But yes, guys, when we see something like this, when we see a story like this, it just grabs at me. It grabs my attention. It really frustrates me. And I know that, like, right now we've been waiting on the Quentin Simon. It's some more updates on Quentin Simon. We're still waiting on information on the Timothy Haslett Jr. situation as well, which I do have a story on that here coming up very, very soon. So we will be talking about that very soon. But then I also have this other story that I've been wanting to talk about a Twitch streamer, a very known Twitch streamer, coming out and exposing her husband, which I thought was very interesting, and we need to talk about that too. Then the other thing, yes, Ray, Debbie Collier. I'm still waiting to hear some information about Debbie Collier as well. It's that story kind of went dead in the water, y'all. That literally just went dead in the water. But I'm still waiting to hear if there's any information about that too. All right. Nikki Narison, thank you so much for being a member for the past 18 months. I really do appreciate it. She says, love this family, and we love you too. Without you guys, I'm serious. Without you guys, there would be no show. There would, if I didn't have the support, there would be no show. Okay. I really, really do appreciate it. Seriously, I really, really do. But yes, excuse me. But yes, Debbie Collier is in another story that we are still kind of waiting on some information. Quentin Simon, still waiting on some stuff like from that. They just had their preliminary hearing, but I'm still waiting to see if anybody was seen there, if anyone poked their head out and made a grand entrance. I'm still waiting to hear any information on that, but we'll see what's going on as well. Yes, Kylie Rodney's autopsy is out there. It is basically, they said it's drowning. She was overcome by water. It's very interesting, but at the same time, like, I know there's a lot of people that are naysayers to the autopsy. Some people out here trying to say it's fake, or that they fabricated this autopsy and all that. And to me, I don't know. I think that this was an accident. Okay, I think that this was literally an accident. And I know that people have made this incredibly fantastic and have try to make this something bigger. I need to see more before I can really just suddenly go, oh yeah, foul play all day long. I need to see more. Just personally, but we'll see. There's, like I said, so many other stories that are going on right now, which I'm trying to find time to squeeze it all in, which we will be talking more about those things as time gets closer. But this here, and this story alone, coming straight out of Paris, France, should tell you that it doesn't matter what language you speak, okay? Doesn't matter what corner of the earth that you live on. There are still evil people out here that are wanting to do very evil things to people, y'all. Period. And I cannot emphasize and stress enough that you need to have these conversations with your children. I don't care how responsible your children are. I don't care if you've had this conversation with your kids before. You have it with them again. You get it seeped into their bodies to the point where it's seeping out their skin. Okay? They know it by rote. Whatever that procedure is. Anything happens, it's like, Johnny, I love you, son. I know you're great. I know you're a good kid. But anything happens, repeat after me. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. Call 911 or call you, mom. Okay. Whatever it is. Start putting in those conversations. And of course, it sounds weird. I might sound crazy, but hey, trust no one. Okay? Episode of X-Files or something like that. Trust no one. Okay? Evil is out there, and they're ready to get anyone if that person shows any signs of being willing to be manipulated. They will run on that stuff. And I still think it's still kind of thinking about this number 1-0 on this young girl's body, but I still do feel that that's a sign of something else. That is not just a random number that was put on the young girl's body. This clearly to me says that there's more. This may have been her 10th victim. There's maybe plenty of other young girls, and if so, young girls and boys that have been succumb to her manipulation. Just think about it. Those numbers say something. Those numbers mean something. Those numbers mean more than just a 1 and a 0. Nicole B just said, as sloppy as this was, I don't think she'd make it to 10. Hey, there are people out here, and Nicole, you are absolutely, you definitely have every right to have your opinion on that. But to me, there have been sloppier situations of people getting away with literally unaliving somebody several times in a row and never getting caught until after the 15th victim. So to me, I say it doesn't hurt to be inquisitive. It doesn't hurt to ask that question. Does 1 and 0 mean number 10, or does it just randomly, or is it just a random number that you put on there? What could have it been her first? You never know. But that is something that law enforcement in Paris should be asking and should be looking into, because she may confess to more. She just might, since they have her in custody. Hollywood 2000, thank you so much for being a member for the past 10 months. I really do appreciate it. They said, thanks for spotlighting the story. Enjoy your channel. I'm glad you don't mind highlighting stories outside the U.S. Much love to the mods also. Yes, absolutely. Of course, this all has to do with what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? These missing children, these missing people, these unthinkable acts of violence that happen to these young people. These innocent people, it's frustrating. And yes, it should be talked about, regardless if it's Paris or Iran or Dubai. Okay? Those conversations need to be had for sure. Witchy Gemini, thank you so much for being a member for the past 3 months. Absolutely love how passionate you are about the two causes you're supporting. I've been in both places, and back then we didn't have these resources. Well, first off, Witchy Gemini, I really do appreciate your support, and I'm passionate about all these things because I know that there's other channels that do talk about these things, but if we aren't out here collectively talking about these things, then who will, right? Who's going to inspire other people to use this as not only as hearing this story and saying, oh my God, this is terrible, but also look at this as a cautionary tale, as a learning piece to maybe say, oh my gosh, I haven't had that conversation with my kid. Have I? Maybe I do. And it's not like we have these PSAs anymore. We don't have Will Smith saying, hey man, be better, man. Just take the high road, man. The more you know. We don't have those anymore, really. So where are we getting them? Just those simple reminders. I know that may sound stupid. Okay. All right. They may say, oh, it may sound stupid. But at the same time, it's a simple reminder. Because sometimes we overlook the details. And guess what? The devil's in the details, my beautiful brothers and sisters. The devil is in the details. Okay? Moody Morgan, please look into Crystal Anderson also. I don't know about Crystal Anderson, but I will look into it for sure. Okay? And Nicole, yes, I did. I finally got to 78,000, which was amazing. This morning, I saw that this morning. I was like, yes, fantastic news. We're slowly but surely moving towards 100,000 subscribers, most definitely. Okay, and it's all because of you guys. Without you guys, there would be no conversations. All right, there would be no show here. All right. But like I said, I know Ashton May asked a little bit, Ashton Moy, I'm sorry, asked if I'm going to be doing a show later on tonight. It looks like I will be doing a show later on tonight, all depending. I do have some information though. Okay. I do have some information, which I want to give you guys this too. And this is a big announcement too, because I know a lot of people are wondering about the situation that I did about 2 weeks ago. Hold on, I'm trying to pull this up because I don't want to say anything wrong real quick. Okay. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. 2 seconds. Okay. Oh, shoot. Wrong thing. 1 second, guys. Okay. So I did a story about Savannah and her father, like Savannah Graziano. Okay. Savannah Graziano was missing in California, and the story ended with a big shootout between 5-0 and her father, because her father was the one who took her, and they were basically on the run. Okay. There was a huge shootout between the father, allegedly with the father with her inside the car. She got out of the car and started running towards law enforcement, and they gunned her down. Okay. Now, what's very interesting about that is that, of course, police are wondering what the heck is going on, what actually happened. Or actually, people are wondering what the police did. Did the police make a mistake or not? Right? Now, what's interesting is that, let me see. Let me just pull this up. Because I feel like you guys should see. Oh, that's gone? Wow. So I just wanted to show you guys this really, 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 really quick. But you guys may remember this young girl. She was 15 years old. She was in the middle of this shootout. Okay. And out of nowhere, she was wearing tactical gear, head to toe tactical gear. Okay. And she was in this shootout. She was in the middle of the shootout. She got out of the truck. Her father was firing back at 5-0. During this shootout, she was taken down. And both her and her father were unalived during this shootout. Now, we watched the press conference. We saw all the information, so on and so forth. And what's crazy is that the police are still trying to backtrack, making it seem like they didn't make a mistake. They're alleging that she was the one pointing the gun back. That she also had a gun pointing at that gun at 5-0, and of course retaliating. Well, Wednesday morning, I'll be having an exclusive interview with Savannah's brother, Angel. I've been in conversation with him for the past couple days. He will be on the show to have a very in-depth conversation about this situation. And there's information about her and their father. Okay, because they share the same father. There's information about the father that will be very eye-opening to you. And there's information about Savannah that will also be extremely eye-opening to a lot of us. And the question still remains, did she have a gun? Was she pointing it back at 5-0? Was she shooting at law enforcement, or was she not? So we're going to be asking some serious conversations in an exclusive interview with Angel Graziano live on the show, talking about what happened to her, what was up with the father, the dynamics of that relationship between the father and his wife. Because remember, how this whole thing went down was that he gunned his wife down, jumped in the car, grabbed his daughter, and then went out on the run. He went out on the lam. So Wednesday, we will be having a very in-depth conversation with Graziano's, Savannah Graziano's brother. So be sure to tune in for that, because that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a very, very big one. But yeah, we're having some very serious conversations. We're having some very, very serious conversations lately on this channel, and we are going to continue those conversations for sure with more and more stories coming around the bend, because there's just so much. There's so much going on, y'all. Okay. But I do have to do this because this is just how it is. I got 29 seconds for you guys. Take a look. I wanted to create something that we could wear to start a very important conversation about mental health and remind those that are lost in the dark that we're here to guide them towards the light. Suicide has taken so many of our loved ones, and it needs to stop. My hope is by wearing these t-shirts and hoodies, we can stop these tragedies and start some conversations. Remember, you are not alone. Yes, remember, you are not alone. We have some really great custom tie-dye t-shirts and hoodies specifically for suicide awareness. So please go check those out. You can find it at pascalmerch.com. We also have a bunch of DV awareness t-shirts and hoodies like this one. We did a collaboration with Gabby Petito's parents and the Gabby Petito Foundation. These t-shirts and hoodies are readily available right now at pascalmerch.com. A portion of the proceeds is going to the Gabby Petito Foundation. So please go over to pascalmerch.com. This month, and this month alone, is DV Awareness Month. So please go over there, support, and let's shed some light on a very, very dark subject that I feel like a lot of people refuse or don't try to talk a lot about. But I know that there's a lot of us out here that are survivors, a lot of us out here that are still living through some things. And so hopefully by all of us wearing these t-shirts and hoodies, maybe somebody sees that and it gives them a spark of hope or a spark of strength to get out of the situation that they are living in currently. You also got to remember, Quentin Simon was also a victim of DV. And I'm assuming a lot of those other kids, Quentin Simon's brothers and sister, I'm sure are victims as well, or they're survivors because they are still living through it right now as we speak. I mean, obviously they've been taken away and they're now in the system, but they were getting through it just as much as Quentin. And I know that's another conversation that has nothing to do with the story that we were just talking about with Lola, but at the same time, I just wanted to bring that, some awareness to that, remind you guys of that. And of course, when it comes to Quentin Simon, if we know any more information, we will be talking about it live on the show, of course, as always. But still, when you look at this Lola Daviet situation, please, guys, I know most of you guys probably roll your eyes at this situation and all that, but it is necessary that we have those conversations with our children. Absolutely 110% important that we have these conversations with our children. Period. Don't be shy. Speak up. Strike up the conversation, because you could save your daughter or your son's life just in doing so. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay. Appreciate all y'all. You guys have been amazing. Wait a second. Devious doll. Pascal, there's a bit of new info. What bit of new info? Type it in there really quick before I head off, because then I might just, I'll be doing a live here in a little bit. But definitely let me know what that is, because that's, if it has to do with Quentin, definitely let me know. Okay. I would definitely like to know that information, because I've been scouring the internets, waiting for some information, But then I saw this and I was like, we need to talk about this. Regardless, we need to talk about this too. Because I know that the Quentin Simon thing has been teetering between salaciousness and fact. So definitely let me know what that could be. Someone said Leilani was in safe spot, not at home. Yeah, of course she's not at home. But we'll see what they mean by she's in a safe spot. But that's the thing. I want to see proof. I'd like to see proof. Okay. Voices Behind the Wall had an interview with the mother. Oh, that is interesting. What mother? You talking about what? With Leilani? The hell? Voices Behind the Wall? I'll go and check it out. I will definitely check it out. I'll believe it when I see it. Okay? Let me just say that. I will believe it when I see it. Okay? But I'll take a look. Okay? I will take a look. Oh, snap. I forgot. I'm so sorry. You know what, Albus? Thank you so much for reminding me that. I am so sorry. And Nicole, I am so sorry. Nicole, let me kill this really quick. Nicole, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I saw it in the corner of my eye, and then I was busy with this, telling you guys this new information about Wednesday, because we are getting an exclusive interview with Savannah Graziano's brother, Angel, which I'm very excited about. And it will be incredibly informative for sure. But again, Nicole, thank you so much. Everybody who is watching still right now, please give Nicole a whole bunch of heart emojis, purple heart emojis in the chat. That would really mean the world to me. Nicole, thank you so much. Mimi, Kay, Jerahiah, Amanda, Sharon, Amy, all y'all, welcome to the family membership. It really does mean a lot to have you guys a part of it. Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to paradise, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Albus, for giving me that reminder. I am so sorry. Sorry, guys. And Nicole, lo siento. Seriously, very, very sorry. I appreciate the support so much. Thank you. But anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay. Let's see. Subscribers special. Where did it go? Tyler, subscriber special at some point? Maybe. For sure. Not in the next couple days, unfortunately. The next couple days are a little crazy for me, and I'm going to be squeezing in these shows as much as I can. But yeah, that's something we can definitely talk about in the near future. Okay. And I might be doing something special for members only very, very soon. So yeah, because just a heads up for you guys. Okay. Oh, she said, I gifted to Pascal, only 5 new members this month. Where? Hold on. Pink Society, where? Did you say this in this stream? Did you do that in this stream? I didn't see it. So if you did, my apologies, but I did not see it. Real talk. Well, thank you. Oh, in the beginning, that's what it was. Oh, Pink Society, everybody, yo, give Pink Society some love, guys, please, and thank you. All right, please give her some love. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay, she gifted 5 members in the show. Man, I'm sorry. Many apologies, Pink Society. Thank you so much for your support. Give her a bunch of purple emojis as well, please. Okay. Yeah, I saw it, but then I scrolled back to the very top of the chat, and I guess it disappeared on me. So, Pink Society, again, thank you. Everyone tell her thank you for me. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, unfortunately, I do have to jump off, but thank you guys so much. If there's more information about Quentin, if there's any more information about Lola, if there's any more information about Tim Haslett and that monsters-ish in Kansas City, you know for a fact you're going to be hearing it right here. And of course, a slew of other conversations that we will be having very, very soon. Be on the lookout for that. Hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I go live, whenever I post something, or if there's any breaking news on this channel, you know you'll be first in line when those things pop off. Anyway, guys, I love every single last one of y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. I got another live coming up later on this evening, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.